The Nationals dumped net zero based on a report that pretends brand new coal plants already exist in Australia, leaving out the over $100 billion it would actually cost to build them. It also ignores tens of billions in grid costs to serve those same coal plants. The report the Nationals used to justify their decision claims that coal is cheaper than renewables. It says extending every major coal plant for another 20 years would cost between $10 and $12 billion. At the same time, it says those plants would run at state-of-the-art efficiency. Here's the catch. That kind of coal plant doesn't exist in Australia. Building them would cost tens of billions more. So the Page report counts every cent needed to build new renewable energy, but leaves out the costs to build these new coal power plants. When I asked the report's author about this, he said it would cost $108 billion to replace the aging coal plants that we have with brand spanking new state-of-the-art coal power plants. The author didn't have the figures in front of him when I called, and that number is actually $103 billion, and it comes from Page's own February report when new coal builds were still included. But in the November version, that's the one that the Nationals waved around to justify dumping net zero, that $103 billion figure disappears. They kept the shiny new plant performance numbers, but ditched the construction costs entirely, shrinking the bill from $103 billion to just $10 billion for tuning up existing coal plants. Maybe it was a mistake, a $100 billion mistake. Someone should maybe call David Littleproudt and tell him that the maths is wrong. It gets worse, by the way. They also included the cost of building things like new transmission power lines, adding between $60 and $70 billion onto the cost of renewable energy projects. But they didn't even talk about new power lines or other building costs for coal. The report's author told me we already have all the sites with existing transmission power lines. That's flat out wrong. It contradicts the Australian Energy Market Operator, which says the grid needs major upgrades no matter what kind of power we use, coal included.